we have here in the Avro Anson is an aircraft that's a military development of a commercial airliner. The Anson was designed to meet an Air Ministry specification for a twin-engine coastal reconnaissance land plane. And in winning that, it beat off competition from a military version of the de Havilland Dragon Rapide, which you may have flown on with classic wings earlier on. When the Anson first appeared, it made its maiden flight in March 1935. This was a very advanced machine indeed, simply by being a monoplane with a retractable undercarriage. And in fact, it was the first RAF aircraft ever to use that configuration. What about the name? Well, because this aircraft was to see a maritime-related role, there was a maritime link there. It was called Anson, after Admiral of the Fleet George Anson, who was First Lord of the Admiralty during the 7 Years' War in the mid-18th century. The first Anson 1s in RAF service from March 1936 went to Coastal Command, and Bomber Command also took on the Anson as an interim measure. No fewer than 26 squadrons across both of those commands had Ansons when war broke out in September 1939. And one of those squadrons, number 500 Squadron, stationed at Detling, was involved in some engagements that rather begged belief. On the 5th of September 1939, just 2 days after war was declared, those Ansons had made the RAF's first attack on a German U-boat. They went on flying regular coastal patrols in what were now these rather obsolete aircraft, including over the beaches of Dunkirk. And one of those patrols was going on the 1st of June 1940, led by Pilot Officer Pete Peters, the aim being to reassure the remaining troops on the Dunkirk beaches during the evacuation, when it was pounced upon by no fewer than 9 Messerschmitt Bf-109s. Peters slowed his Anson down, he forced the Messerschmitts to overshoot, and allowed 2 of them to be shot down by his Anson's front guns. Peters was awarded the DFC, the Distinguished Flying Cross. I would suggest that was the least he deserved. Very soon, with aircraft like the Lockheed Hudson and the Armstrong Whitworth Whitley coming along, the Anson was obsolete on the front line, but it still had some qualities better than its replacements. For example, number 608 Squadron converted to the frankly disastrous Blackburn Botha, but so useless was that aeroplane that it soon got its Ansons back. They were used for transport duties, not least by the Air Transport Auxiliary, for much of the rest of the war. They were used in huge numbers for training, both in the UK and overseas. This one is a post-war civilian version, an Avro 19, which is now owned by the Shuttleworth Collection, and which is in the colours of an Anson C19 operated by the RAF Coningsby station flight in the early 1960s. So it's a little bit out of time compared with the Gladiators with it, but it represents those early Ansons that were active on the front line at the same time as the Gloster Gladiators we're about to see flying together.